So after Chiriku, or We Got Netero at Home, gets took off the census, Mr. Sack Chaser, aka Mr. Big Baller Brand, aka Mr. Bring Me My Money, gets to drop off the corpse so he can pay some bills. And he thumbing through that junk too. He making sure he got every dollar. Just like the girl that's suing Shannon Sharp just because he didn't want to listen to Dr. Umar. But since Chiriku and Asuma used to be cool back in the day, there's no way he could let it slide. So he already on the way with a squad. Even though honestly, I have no idea what him and his magnetic beard think he finna do. You got somebody who's the son of the third Hokage, who's also the man that's proclaimed to know every jutsu, and yet this guy chooses to specialize in brass knuckle combat. It's like if KD had a son and the little nigga just decided to be Andre Drummond, just a complete and utter waste of seed. But nevertheless, everybody pulls up on their location, getting a formation in the trees, while Hidan's sitting on the stairs with no idea of what's coming, as Kakazu walks up behind him. Except that junk was not Kakazu, because we see Asuma ready up some shuriken and launching them just to get all blocked easily, almost making bro get smacked by his own attack. I swear this man is so buns, bro. Like Megan Thee Stallion concert buns. Nah. Like Ice Spice music video buns. Of all the things he could do against a man sitting down with his back turned, bro chooses to throw shuriken, which, even if they connected, they wouldn't work. So now he looking terrified as Hidan sets his sight that comes down, almost splitting bro. As he jumps back and we see Izumo and Kotetsu rush in on the sides, and Hidan is stuck by none other than shadow paralysis, because Shikamaru would never let his sensei get did dirty. As Hidan gets penetrated from both sides, meaning now there's only one more person to go, who also has no idea what's coming. Except we see Hidan up here looking as unbothered as possible, like he watching Taylor Swift twerk. Jump probably sound like a skeleton from Minecraft. I am not intrigued. And so of course everyone is shocked because they all in this man's guts, and he just sitting there talking like he used to. Maybe it's something Kakazu ain't telling us, before he tells us that he is indeed immortal, leaving Asuma no choice but to bring out the blades. Ooh, I'm so scared. But you know who's not scared? As Kakazu comes out of nowhere, caught back on Shikamaru and blasting the roof off, before we see him drift out the smoke, making him lose his shadow possession, as Kakazu hawks his ass till Asuma rushes in between to save his student. What an upstanding guy, man. These really the type of people that live forever, for real. But then Hidan tells him he wants the 3v1 since he loves taking on 3 guys. So Kakazu obliges, as Hidan then starts drawing up his sacred spot, getting ready for the ritual, making Asuma come up with the plan. And the plan is literally just for Shikamaru to trap him with the shadow. What a genius. But he's not worried in the slightest, because if anything goes wrong, he knows Shikamaru gonna be there to save the day, meaning everything's gonna be okay. So then he loads up the chakra blade and Hidan readies up before Asuma rushes in, followed by Hidan as they go clashing by each other, setting Shikamaru up for the follow-up, making him go jumping away, flying back upside down for literally no reason as he yeets a kunai that gets shattered by Asuma. So maybe they ain't not that trash after all. But then Hidan throws a scythe that gets weaved back to back, no MJ, with no problems. And Hidan goes zipping towards him before jumping up, and they clash again as they land, with Hidan still getting harassed by the shadows, making him decide to send in the scythe right towards him, leaving Asuma no choice but to whip out that Chiriku special that smacks the scythe to the ozone layer, then chops this man diaphragm, trying to give him the gojo that sends him sliding back, before Asuma goes back to throwing shuriken that he dodges, leading him right back to getting harassed like a 15-year-old at a Minecraft convention, until he goes jumping up, flipping over Asuma, landing right in between everyone, setting him up for the Lily Phillips technique, as they all unload shuriken. Then instead of dodging, bro actually uses his noodle and is like, I'm immortal, and just tanks him, letting him go running towards Shikamaru with no worries. So Asuma goes chasing, but Hidan pulls out that Uno reverse card, backflipping over Asuma and sending the scythe straight to him that barely gets blocked, but still gets a nice piece of that face penetrated. Pretty much ending bro as we know it. But he don't know it yet. So he goes running in, starting up a jutsu, blasting out Ash, as Hidan takes a nice lick of that AIDS-infested blood. Yeah, Hidan might be immortal, but he probably burning crazy. We already know this series full of freaks. He probably done clapped at least 2 Orochimaru experience. I know he hate to pee. But then he walks over to his diagram, and speaking of burning, Asuma sparks that shit up, devouring this man in flames, cooking him and all his diseases alive. Boy, I know it smelled crazy over there. And while we here, this is also one of the toughest jutsu in the series, I'm not gonna lie. It's ass considering he could have just blew a fireball and been way faster. But either way, it's tough. And so eventually, the smoke clears and we see Hidan down here taking a knee with some insane tests before it passed to Asuma cooked with a fat ass burnt birthmark over half of his body. And Hidan looking like a cracked out homemade skeleton. I know they confused as hell right now. Until Hidan reaches in his robe, pulling out this junk that look like what police officers be beating people with, and Asuma readies up the blade just as calm as can be, not even fazed by the Orochimaru treatment he just got. As ironically, we get the face off before Asuma goes charging in, making Hidan load up and stab his own knee, which also takes out Asuma's knee, sending him face planting in the dirt. Shout out D-Rose, man. And so now he just laying on the ground, slumped, as we find out that every single injury Hidan gets also happens to Asuma. And since Asuma is not immortal, he's cooked. And so Hidan just started bullying him, asking where does he want the rod next time, unless he's already ready to join Chiriku. Before we see Shikamaru sitting in the shadow as Hidan calls back the finishing blow. But will Shikamaru be able to make it in time? As Ketchup drops to the ground and we see Hidan stopped right before it was too late, with Shikamaru clutching up with some perfect timing, meaning now everything should be fine and dandy, especially if you forget there's another one of these demons they gotta fight after this. But before he can even get a chance, we see Hidan, even while being shadow strangled, is still able to slightly move, putting him in a tug-of-war match with Shikamaru for control, forcing him to go to his all-reliable spawning in a shogi board, putting that 200 IQ to work. And in no time at all, he's able to deduce the whole situation and come up with a plan. That's my Hokage, man. And so now he slowly starts shimmying to the side before eventually getting him out the diagram and setting up Asuma for the lob as he instantly yeets a kunai, giving both the Evander Holyfield. But Asuma's ear is still intact, meaning the plan was a success. And so now he feeling himself, loading up that shadow strangle and mutilating this man and tying him down, meaning there is no getting out of this one. As now Asuma gets up doing his best Walking Dead impression, dragging himself over. And feeling that pressure, now Hidan start crying for Kakazu's help over here, stressing. Everybody really do act tough when they up. You hate to see a fake demon, man. As the blade slices and we see a headband and hot sauce go flying across with this jashin circle change. What? But knowing him, that shit was probably fake anyway. But now, 50% of the mission is finally complete. And all it costed was Asuma's leg, all of Shikamaru's chakra, and half of Asuma's skin. So maybe if they lock in, Kakazu can get sent to all 17 of his deceased former partners. Especially when you consider Izumo and Kotetsu haven't done a damn thing. So Shikamaru detaches from the body and then drops to the ground before he ends up dropping too. This chakra pool really is just like Bleach. Ass. But that don't really even matter because suddenly, this man Hidan starts talking while being separated from his body, taking the so no head way too literally, thinking he me. And this man Asuma can't believe it. Bro done sacrificed any chance he had at a hoop career just for this freak to still be alive. I'd have to go over there and really give him something to pray about. But now he's begging Kakazu to take him to his body. And so he blitzes over, picking bro's head up with one hand like a basketball, finna do him like MJ in Space Jam. Before he suddenly locks in, dipping to Asuma and punishing that leg. Doing him how they was doing Dre and Karate Kid, just bullying him. As he even cocks back the suitcase, smacking bro, sending him flying and rolling back into the dirt, not even able to get back up. They should have known not to send this bum out here like this, man. They gave him somebody with less chakra than me and 2 Chunin who would have got folded by Part 1 Sasuke to be his backup. I hate to say it, but my goat might have set bro up. But then Kakazu goes jumping up and coming down right into Asuma's spine, knocking the sense out this man. And now he really not gonna be able to walk again. A Joel Embiid knee and Tsunade's back at the same time is nasty work. Enjoy that wheelchair, man. So now Kakazu sets up and starts helping Hidan, literally sewing his head back on, giving Izumo and Kotetsu the perfect chance to do something. But of course, they actually just sitting there watching, completely wasting the little screen time they got. As Hidan stands up, good as new. And since they back at full strength with the 2 strongest teammates they got being cooked, Now they decide to do something, popping out a scroll, summoning this ugly ass sword, looking like something they put in an Arby's sandwich, as everyone goes running in. Before Izumo loads a jutsu, spitting out mad syrup that Kakazu dodges and Kotetsu goes running on, before cocking back the creature, jumping up and launching it as it morphs into a damn plane like a Power Ranger, making Kakazu start spamming trying to hit it but getting weaved as it booms into him. Meaning this whole time these dudes could have actually helped, but chose to just watch instead, like they were sitting in this chair in the hotel room. Y'all should really be ashamed, man. So it starts panning in on the smoke, and we see Kakazu just standing beside a fat hole in the ground, looking as nonchalant as me. Bro, you are not like that. Till he puts his hands up like he finna do an almighty push, and that thing pops out the ground, flying towards him before going into the air, getting snatched by Kotetsu, making Kakazu try to dip, except bro is stuck, lining him up for the easy attack as Kotetsu jumps in just for Kakazu to detach his hands, sending him to put bro in a chokehold and also tying him up. Bro really thought making him stuck was gonna save him. I learned my lesson off that from Uvojin. But now Izumo got a dodging hand that just turns around, still pressing him, before eventually tying him up too, till the hand spins around, going right to the neck, putting these Chunin in the irrelevant category too, right with Lee and Kiba, leaving no one else capable to stop the immortal duo. As Hidan starts walking down Asuma, who down here taking a nap like it's his day off, before he cocks back and Asuma locks in, catching him lacking. Look at the fear in his eyes, chat, as he swings and misses the chakra blade while barely dodging Hidan's attack, before we see the scythe come flying in directly towards him with nowhere for him to go. Except he was able to duck under just in time, letting it go straight into Hidan's guts with all three blades too. He didn't stand a chance, leaving us with a screen full of Asuma cheeks, and praise the Lord they didn't go into detail. I done seen enough ass this fight already. But then as soon as Asuma starts getting cocky, he realizes that he's cooked, because somehow Hidan was able to get back in this little diagram, meaning every blade Hidan took to the gut, Asuma also took to the gut. And sorry to break it to you, pal, but you do not got enough plot armor to survive. Before finally Shikamaru is actually able to stand up as he goes running to his sensei, realizing that he is indeed on the way to his dad. And after all that talking earlier about how Shikamaru was not gonna let that happen. And look at how bro is running. That man is desperate. He running so crazy that eventually he trips and goes sliding in the dirt. Even if he somehow makes it over there, there's absolutely nothing he can do. Yet he is still giving it his all. Gotta respect it. But then Hidan pulls out another rod, readying up the last and final blow, putting Asuma face to face with death, before Hidan goes right through his own chest, leaving Asuma with the realization that it's over. And even all the way back in the leaf, Kurana too realizes that a chapter in that book is closed. But while we here, I know at times like this I should be respectful, but honestly, what's more respectful than trying to be there for a lady that's going through it? Because I'm sorry, but Kurenai, I was not familiar with your game. I may not be the dad, but I can be the dad that stepped up. That's all I'ma say. As Asuma falls into the dirt, before Hidan starts going back to normal, and we see Izumo and Kotetsu still getting choked. But it's been like 3 minutes now. They must got some sturdy throats. They should have been asleep. But that's when Shikamaru gets up, going running again just to get a chest full of Izumo as they both go sliding back. So suddenly, we start seeing feathers fall out the sky before the screen is filled with crows, meaning my nigga Itachi done pulled up to save the day. Yes, sir, that too clutch. No way he could sit back and watch his former Leaf brethren get cooked like that. He way too loyal to let that happen. So as they jump at Hidan, we see Raido come out of nowhere with this black Tanjiro sword, barely missing Kakazu, but finally making them release Izumo and Kotetsu's necks, cause I know they throats probably on 1 HP right now. Tiana would be proud, as even Choji pull up too, scooping up Asuma as Ino consoles Shikamaru, when if we being honest, she could've just mind transferred Kakazu while he was lacking and saved us like 15 episodes. But hey, who am I? But the worst part about this is, we see it was actually Aoba who was controlling the crows, meaning my glorious king indeed did not make an appearance to save his former Leaf brethren. A whole fight with zero aura, man. You hate to see it. And so then Hidan and Kakazu jump away from the crows, making Aoba just get them all up out of there. As Ino and Shikamaru go to check on Asuma, whose heart is still beating. So Shikamaru tells him to take him to the hospital, but Cash Money Kakazu was not letting his lottery ticket get away. But that's when Aoba pulls up, telling him not even to worry, cause he want the ones. But like, who is bro? And if y'all didn't know, it's time to introduce y'all to Mr. Run Them Hands Aoba. Because he runs in, miss blocked before he starts pressing this man. Oh my gosh. Y'all been making me watch this bum Asuma fight when this who should have been getting that screen time, he low-key like that. Except while Aoba's on that ass, they get a call from none other than the illustrious leader of the Akatsuki, telling them that they gotta leave, and thank God he did. I don't know how much longer I could have waited for some ore, man. Aoba was really carrying. And this is top tier aura too. It's such an honor knowing Kishimoto made pain in my likeness, cause bro is so tough. But now Hidan and Kakazu dip, leaving Team 10 alone with their fallen sensei. And he tells them to not even waste their time trying to save him. It's over. But Ino starts anyway, just to realize that it really is too late, as he leaves them with his final words and eventually his final request, asking for one more cigarette. So Shikamaru sparks it up, and Asuma uses it to take his final breath as it falls to the ground, leaving them with the harsh reality that their sensei is gone.